Hello everyone. So when I was a kid, I loved rope lights. I loved string lights in general, but I had a rope light set which I used to weave through the banisters every Christmas. And yeah, I just seem to remember them having like a really nice glow, not being very bright. I remember they had a function to like change the you know, pattern of the lights, so they weren't just static. And I used to love playing around with that and like changing the pattern every so often or whatever. And I used to love the sort of ritual of turning them on in the morning and maybe turn them off while I'm out, of course, and then at the end of the day, turn them off after them being on. And I saw these online, and I've just become so disappointed with LED string lights because I believe the EU banned incandescent bulbs completely in like 2018 or something. And at the time, the UK was part of the EU, and it's really difficult to get hold of incandescent string lights. I recently got this pair from NOMA, and I think they're beautiful. It's the first time I've handled incandescent string lights in a very, very long time. I got them just kind of like for the nostalgia of them. I've just kind of found that because LED string lights are so prevalent, they also seem to be so garish these days. I think as the uh, technology has improved, they've then also been able to make them brighter, but that actually makes it worse in my opinion. Anyway, so I saw this online, and the uh, everywhere that I've looked at these online, it's all just stock images, but the stock images look quite warm and cozy, which is how I remember my rope lights from when I was a kid. So, but the thing is pretty much every review of these, they looked garishly bright. But then also some of the reviews were saying that like sections of it weren't working, and then also some of them, it was like one was one color, the next one is another color, how it looks here. But then some of the images were showing like three of the same color in a row, three in a row, three in a row, and being said they were sent the wrong lights. Anyway, long story short, I couldn't like trust the reviews were definitely about this product. Anyway, so with all that being said, I'm really curious to give it a try and see if it's nice and warm and cozy like how I remember and how it looks on this picture, or if it is the terrible garish LED colors that seem to be so prevalent these days. And I'm going to compare them with these incandescent ones, so you can kind of see what I mean with the difference, if it is much different. So let's get it open. So here's the back, in case you want to pause and look at it. And then there isn't really much, there isn't any other information to look at really. So I'm going to very carefully open this up because I think I'll be honest, I'm not very optimistic that these are going to be right. But if they are right, what I'm going to do is bring them to my parents and put them on the banisters like what I used to do. And I will restart that tradition because I don't know where the original ones are. They could be at my parents' somewhere, or maybe they've been chucked away, I don't know. But I actually went around the other day to have a look and I could not find them. I really don't want to mess it up because I hate that when you receive something that looks like it's been tampered with. So already, I remember there being like a thick wire. Here we go. So there doesn't appear to be any instructions in the box. I think all you have to go by is this. Oh my god, that smells, hold on. Oh, that was the other thing. Rope lights had a very particular plasticky smell, which I really liked, or it just made me feel so nostalgic for Christmas time. Yeah, these smell exactly like it. And I seem to remember the ropes being like, having a texture to them, almost like a hose. And I think that's something that I kind of found really novelty about rope lights, is that it was like, it literally was like a hose. Because I think hoses typically have like a texture to them. It was literally like a hose with lights in it, and I just thought that was so weird and cool. So here's what this says in case you want to have a read. And then here's the other side. Okay. And then, yeah, I seem to remember it having like this big chunky controller thing to change the like the function. Here's the back. And yeah, this is a cute little image. I wonder if mine had that. Okay, I'm actually really nervous because I do really want these to be how I remember, but I just have a feeling they're not. I'm gonna turn the light off for this. Okay, here goes. Oh no! Oh no! Let's just get it off the setting first. Oh, you may as well go through them. That is disgusting. So that's all it does. It just flashes at different speeds. Okay, yeah. This is terrible. This is really not nice. And if I'm not mistaken, I feel like I can see a flicker. Yeah, you can see it on, yeah, you can see it on the camera. I've just looked at the camera. So these are static in person, but I can just about make out a flicker, like it's kind of giving me a headache. Wow. Okay, these are really bad. Oh my god, I'm so sad. Yeah, so if I compare it with these incandescent ones, sorry, it's all tangled. Like, look how nice and warm that is compared to this. Yuck. Imagine this, but with a warm kind of glow like this. Yeah, this is gonna have to go. Of course, like, no judgment if this is your kind of thing and this is what you want, but to me, that is not what it looks like on the box. Oh god, it's so bad. Because it's just got this like bluish kind of look to it. It is not nice. Anyway, I'm going to be on the lookout for rope lights, maybe like vintage ones, or you know, ones from when I was a kid that are much warmer than this. And yeah, if I come across them, I will do a review and kind of show you what I mean. And yeah, if you find any, please let me know, because I will definitely want a set. But yeah, honestly, this is just not something I'd want in my home, or even like on the outside of my home. It's just so garish and like, yeah. Anyway, well, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.